Hello, my lovelies. Could I possibly have another round of applause, please? I'm glad you went with that, I'll be honest with you. The second one is mostly for my wank bank. I'm kidding, of course. I am a nice middle-aged lady. I do not have a wank bank. I have an erotic building society. And yes, it is disgusting. So yeah. My name's Emily, and I'd like to say straight off the bat, I do not like to pigeonhole myself sexuality-wise. But if I absolutely had to, I'd say I was grateful. Which means wherever you identify on the wide spectrum of gender, and it is a spectrum, not a Commodore 64. One for the other Gen Xers in the house, and I know that there's some of you in because I could hear you singing a lot of Salt and Pepper earlier. How do you know if you're a Gen Xer? Well, if your sexual awakening wasn't flashing in a graveyard, it was probably Thundercats. But it wasn't, that wasn't just me. Wherever you identify on the Commodore 64 of gender, anyway, the chances are I might let you, what's the word, disappoint me. Or maybe I could disappoint you, depending on what day of the week it is. Let me talk you through my look for this evening, because why not? I got this dress in an unusual shop that caters to people who both swing dance and worship Satan. And in case you're wondering, I don't swing dance. I like to go for a sort of 50s shape because I like to have an outfit which is 50% oh shit, Auntie Jean has got in the Bacardi again. To 50% stop crying, it's a lovely picnic. And then from the neck up I'm wearing the accessory I wear every single day, which is a face that looks a bit like the ghost of a Victorian child. Yeah, so this is a look best suited for peering through windows at 2 AM. Perhaps accompanied by the sound of abnormally long fingernails on the glass. And a wail of, why couldn't we have had crumpets at Nicholas? Whatever that look is, it's not a sexy one. Back when I used to do the dating apps, my profile picture was me going, clean your coal scuttle, governor! And the funny thing is, I don't even know what a coal scuttle is. Though I've seen a few things that could possibly fit in there. So I'm distractible. I'm quite a distractible person anyway. I'm literally like a Labrador that's seen an ice cream van 50% of the time. But I couldn't help but notice there's a big glittery boob up here. And you're giving your laughter and your joy to the big glittery boob, and I think that's beautiful. Bit of observational comedy for you there. Actually, the dating apps were kind of weird for me because when you sexuality-wise identify as grateful, sometimes somebody comes up and you've got questions, but you're never sure if you're meant to match with them. Like I once matched with somebody whose photo was a picture of a snake with some bikini-clad human breasts. Huh? I know. And I'm glad I got that response because I said that at a gig in Worthing the other day and the lady went, oh yeah! And she assures me it wasn't her. But I didn't go on a date with them, but every now and then I wake up at 2 in the morning and think, where are you now, serpent boobs? Probably sliding away very, very slowly. Unless they travel on their back, that would kind of make a bit more sense. It's kind of good in a way that I've got the spooky ghost face, because if there's one thing I very much enjoy, it's a spooky story. Anyone else? Would you guys like to hear a spooky story right now? Awesome, thank you. Could you set the scene for me by making a spooky noise of your choice, please? We've got the Ghost of River dance. Everyone else went for the standard, grandma's heard some juicy gossip about next door's pets. me just the general rising inflection, ooh, which I like to call Ghost of Dead game show audience. One guy misunderstood that bit once. I asked for spooky noises and he went, way! And I was like, oh my god, ghost lads. But you rarely see them, but I'm fairly sure they're about, because you know when you're out of England, you get a sudden whiff of Lynx Africa. That's the ghost lads. Okay. You are moving house, but the removal man knocks over the box containing all of your sex toys. You are embarrassed, but you manage to style it out by saying, for some reason, in the voice of a lady from a 1940s British film, whatever shall I do with all these robot hands? I'm aware that's not very scary, but what I forgot to tell you is at least 50% of those sex toys were haunted. And also, I'm of the opinion that fear and shame are very closely linked, and if you don't believe me, you've never had to watch a video of myself doing karaoke. Because I have, and it was terrifying. There's me wailing in a variety of registers while my friend was creeping around in the background going, Emily, you can't be Meatloaf and Cher at the same time. And do you know what? She was absolutely right. But I have discovered in a weird way that it is kind of technically possible for me to do musical comedy if you guys help me out a bit. Are you up for this? Okay, what I need from you is just a simple blues riff. So, da-da-da-da-da. Cool, and again. Well, being a hamster, it sure ain't no fun. I had 52 babies, and I ate every one. Thank you. That's my blues on the wonder of nature. I just think it's important to spread joy in these troubled times, because I know when I was a kid, there was that song that went, things can only get better. And I forget who did that, but I think it might have been Tony Blair. But in the year of our Lord 2023, saying things can only get better makes about as much sense as saying this is going to be the best Christmas Walford has ever seen. And I do try to be positive, I do, but I just sometimes have days where my anxiety goes, Emily, freak out now! And my depression goes, I don't see the point. Don't worry though, it's a good day today, or in other words, maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's sertraline. I find these days when I go to therapy, my therapist is quite often going, Emily, I think you're doing funny voices to detract from how serious this is. And I go, oh boy. She goes, yeah, you're doing it now. And I go, oh, weird pet, I'm not, bite a gruel. Another one for the young folks there. But comedy and psychoanalysis actually have quite a lot in common. Like, did you know Sigmund Freud wrote a joke book? He did. And the punchline to each and every one of those gags was your mum. So say what you like about old Sigmund, clever motherfucker. Thank you. Awesome. I'll leave you guys on this because I've got a quick confession to make. I live in London. Okay, that's good. But you're not booing as much as I am inside my head when you're tired. I always sort of feel that when people arrive in London, there should be signs up saying, "Welcome to London. Sorry about all this." You guys have got Ozzy Osbourne. We've got Prince Charles, King Charles. I don't know, King sausages. Who cares? It's very, very weird. Anyway, despite all of this, it is a great city. There's lots of cool stuff to do. I like to go to open mic poetry nights when I'm not doing comedy and heckle. I'm not proud of it, but it's a lot of fun. What you do? You hang around at the back of the room and you go, call that a stanza, mate. Your metaphors are dead flies on the window of the 73 bus. Your similes are like. And that's the point they normally ask me to leave. But one thing I will say, as everywhere is at the moment, and this is a little bit of advice I'd like to take away with you, is, you know, cities everywhere are expensive now, but what I do to offset against the horrible cost of living in London is I rent out my uterus. I know it's weird, but the decor's interesting. There's original period features. And it is next to 2 tubes.